before we start, I want to say that I feel like the craziest fans are Los Angeles Laker fans and New York Knicks fans.
That's fair.
And I just happen to have, if not one of the biggest New York Knicks fans sitting on my couch right here. And I just want to say, man, I want to also say, like, you're inspiring. Like, your coverage of the Knicks, I'm a Heat fan.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
no.
Is like, you're deeply ingrained to where I'm like, it's players that you have beefs with and vendettas with and coaches and everything. And but you say you've always been like that.
Mm-hmm. Got
you. Who's your favorite Knicks player ever?
My favorite Knick ever. I mean, damn, honestly, it sounds crazy, but the answer is probably RJ Barrett. It sounds crazy because he's young. Wait, RJ disrespect will not be tolerated on my watch. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, don't mind him. It won't be. But throughout the long history and as long as he's been alive, he's already number one.
You see, the reason that RJ is number one is because when RJ got drafted, that's when I got into actually covering the Knicks.
So it's kind of like rookie year.
Yeah, we're on the same trajectory.
Exactly. Okay.
So it's I kind of measure myself along with RJ. It's I got to go crazy in year 3. RJ went crazy in year 3. You feel me? Now we both going into year 4. It feels like
that.
And so,
what do you mean by crazy? What do you mean?
He averaged 25 points a game in 2022. That's 41 games. How many players did that?
He averaged how much?
25 points a game in 2022.
Oh, you mean as far as 2022, the actual calendar?
Like the year.
January to the end of the season, he averaged 25 points a game.
Okay.
Yeah, before that, Tibbs had him standing in the corner like he was Bruce Bowen. So he was only scoring 14 points a game. But once he got the ball, he was scoring 25 points every night. Getting to the line. He wasn't even making the free throws yet. He was scoring 25 points. So it's going to get scary next year. Just let niggas know. Over it.
Scary, the record's going to get scary?
No, he's talking about RJ Barrett himself.
Oh, RJ Barrett. Okay.
How are you feeling about because I've seen you talk about the Knicks franchise and you're really not a proponent of, blaming the front office and everything like that anymore, being that, you guys had the 5th seed last year, right?
4th seed the year before.
4th seed the year before. And this year, of course, was a down year. So how are you feeling about the Knicks moving forward?
Playing tournament.
He doesn't
lottery.
He's not a proponent of RJ ever getting touched. Emmanuel quickly going nowhere.
I like Emmanuel.
So how you feeling?
I like Rudy.
How you feeling?
I wish you were asking me this question tomorrow. I'd have a better idea of how I feel.
Yeah,
because they might piss me off.
Jaden Ivey.
It would be hard to piss me off. It's just I feel good. I feel like this is the most young talent we've had in my lifetime. Not even close for real. Mm-hmm. The amount of young talent we have on the same timeline playing together, whether it's RJ,
no, you guys have
Emmanuel Quigley, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson, Quentin Grimes is nice. We got Cam Reddish. You feel me? We got plenty of young talent. Yeah. So now it's we need to. I feel like we would have been a better team last year if we just played the young talent we had.
You've always said that. So, you guys,
Alec Burks started at point guard for 60 games.
That was wild.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Come on, what are we talking about?
So, what do you attribute the I guess you could say the trending downwards?
Tom Thibodeau.
You think all that's him?
You can't say that.
Tom Thibodeau is 80% of it.
So
the other 20% is Julius Randle forgetting he gives a shit about basketball. It's disgusting. But between them two,
but wasn't Julius Randle the savior a year or so ago?
I mean, he was second team All NBA. He was great. What you want me to say? He was amazing. That's why they gave him second team All NBA. And then, what did he do?
See, here's my issue with Nick. Because I've been wanting you to come on this podcast. Cause
I'm ready for it.
I don't like Knicks fans, but them tell you why I don't like Knicks fans. Y'all,
they like the Cowboy fans.
Yes, y'all don't enjoy the moment for what it is, right? The season where y'all was 4 seed, yes, Tom Thibodeau came along, implemented defense. Y'all had a refreshed system. The front office changed. Y'all brought all in this new personnel. It was fresh. You guys hit the ground running. Y'all surprised the league. And by the time the league started adjusting to what you guys got going on, it's too late. Y'all already solidified y'all spot. Now the league know what y'all got going on. They come back this season. It come back to reality. I don't feel like y'all got worse. I feel like reality set in.
You feel like the league caught up with them?
The league just caught up with you guys.
I'm gonna tell you. So the reason that it's not the league catching up with us or like reality setting in, we lost 17 games in February, like from January.
And to add on to his statement, he also believes the league caught up with the Atlanta Hawks. Granted, both of you guys who were fourth and fifth.
I think the Atlanta Hawks got lucky. I think they got lucky and they played us without Mitchell Robinson. I think Clint Capella dominated us, and then they played the Sixers with Joel Embiid on one knee. Doc Rivers not knowing how to coach
is highly like which is why he wasn't surprised they took that landslide either.
Yeah,
But you were saying like you had 17 games in February.
So February we won one game in February. We lost 17, and in those 17 games we had 6 20-point leads. Tell me how we had 6 20-point leads and came out with one win. That's nothing but coaching.
That's coaching.
And we did this, and the way that we lost game 1 was the same way that we lost game 17. It was like a nightmare, bro. Like it was a nightmare. We would play well. We'd have a lead. At 6 minutes, he would put Alec Burks back in the game. He'd put Julius Randle back in the game, no matter how bad they were playing, no matter how much they were turning the ball over. Because Alec Burks is not a point guard, we wouldn't be able to get into our offense for the last 6 minutes of the game, and then we'd crumble, stall out, and lose the game every single time. And he would do the same thing next game.
Granted, horrible coaching. Alec Burks should never play a point guard or be a starter at that if you're trying to make the playoffs. But does Tom Thibodeau get any grace for changing the franchise around and you guys being the 4th seed? Because at the end of the season, you guys were calling for his job.
Which is
I'm not sure how much was that heightened emotion or
why is that not fair?
He got y'all to the 4th seed the year before.
Julius Randle was second team All NBA and shot 40% from 3.
Yeah,
that is what got us to the 4th seed. Tom Thibodeau was a part of it. He did a great job. He instilled culture,
the defense,
all of that stuff.
You don't think that matters?
We should have been better than we were that year too. He started Elfrid Payton all season.
Better than what, the 4th seed?
Yes, we should have been better than the team that we were. He started Elfrid Payton.
Over so you say he should have started Emmanuel over Elfrid?
He should have started Emmanuel over Elfrid. He should have started Derrick Rose over Elfrid. Emmanuel quickly had 31 points on on the Blazers. He bodied the Blazers in Portland with 31 points. He scored 16 points in the 4th quarter to get a comeback win against the Hawks. And then the game after that, he got like 10 minutes.
I don't like that type of stuff.
I hate that.
Yeah,
what are we doing that for?
Especially
when the guy who has the job is not good at basketball.
He's not good at the whole game.
Elfrid Payton is not good at basketball.
Wow. I remember, the funniest thing though, because he used to actually kind of be like a fan of Elfrid Payton coming like Orlando days and stuff like that. He'll get like triple doubles and things like that.
Me too.
And I was like, I had brought you up to him about like you going in on Elfrid Payton. He was like, Elfrid Payton? He's like, that's a good guy because he's not paying attention to the Knicks as hard. I'm like, you don't want to say that in front of Sean.
Yeah.
He's been going in.
The man can't shoot to save his life.
Not that you can.
Like at all. First of all. We can stop there, honestly. You can't really be a point guard in the NBA if you just can't shoot at all. Yeah. And if even Ben Simmons doesn't get away with it, and he's 6'10", and an excellent defender. Elfrid Payton can't shoot. He was selfish. Like he's not passing unless it's for an assist. He was only passing to Julius Randle. Like he wasn't playing defense. He's a capable defender.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's more annoying. It's one thing when you can't play defense. But when I know that you can play defense and you choose not to, like you're dying on screens, you're not rotating. What's up? Like, why are we doing this? So it's like he plays Elfrid Payton all year, and then in Game 3 of the playoffs decides, oh yeah, we got to bench this guy. If you got to bench him in Game 3 of the playoffs for the rest of the series and not play him at all, he didn't bench him like take him out of the starting lineup, but he stopped playing him
at all. Yeah, altogether. So
this guy was clearly unplayable. But you played him all year. And so there's plenty of games during that year. Like that season, we won a 9-game win streak toward the end of the season and moved us up the rankings. But when you think about any game that we lost that we should have, like the Heat that year, the Heat swept us that year. And they were all close games. And you know why? Because Eric Spoelstra was smart enough to say, oh, we're playing 4-on-5. I'm sending doubles everywhere. That's all they did. They doubled every possession, every touch, no matter where you were on the court, you were getting doubled because they didn't have to worry about Elfrid Payton.
Now, attributed with the drop-off, do you think that you guys traded offense for defense with the free agency signings that you guys had with Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, Who else?
That's another guy, Evan Fournier. Y'all thought y'all had the second coming of whoever.
Good grief! I don't even want to get started on Evan Fournier.
No, yeah, we started talking about. So
Matter of fact, we're not going to dwell on it. I just want to let you know. I'm not saying you said it, but some Knicks fans said that the Evan Fournier signing was better than the DeMar DeRozan in Chicago signing.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I thought the DeMar DeRozan Chicago signing was a bad signing.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you did speak down on that.
I honestly...
No, you don't.
To keep it a whole buck, I still don't know if it's a good move. And he played great. But
they got him for like 3 years, 95
million. 3 years, 85 mil. They gave up a first-round pick.
Yeah.
They now have, like, basically... Let's say Zach
he was an MVP candidate.
No, he's amazing. He did great.
They got him for a 4 deal.
In terms of what they're doing as an organization and their window, like they traded 2 first-round picks for Nikola Vucevic and then traded another first-round pick for a free agent.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, so now you're not going to have any picks and you're going to be capped out with 34-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they got a 6 seed out of it and a first-round exit.
But with a whole bunch of injuries, I might add, granted, you ain't got to put me on the Bulls wagon. I was never on it. That's him.
Yeah.
I was never a believer in anything, but I respected DeMar DeRozan, and I feel like the league, and maybe you at the time forgot how good DeMar DeRozan was. I feel like the Spurs, they hit his scoring ability, more different offense and stuff like that. So that signing, when, they give him the 3 years, 85 million or whatever, people like, and I'm just like, I think DeMar DeRozan is still the same guy from Toronto who averaged 28 points. That's what I'm looking at. And I'm just like, they got him for a low ball because he's a high 30s, $40 million a year player as far as, level. And that's what I can say about Knicks fans. You guys know your basketball. But I feel like when it comes to like evaluating sometimes other players' teams, you guys kind of miss it because this is another egregious thing you said. And I agree with you, usually when it's not the Knicks, on other stuff. You said that Chris Middleton was better than Jimmy Butler.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did. Now, granted, this might have been when Chris Middleton was going crazy in the finals.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Butler had just flamed out in the first round against the Bucks. But you said that Chris Middleton was better than Jimmy Butler, and I'm just like, Sean.
Did I definitively say that? Like, did I say he's like better than him for real?
Yeah.
Or okay. To be honest.
Oh, God.
He's not better than him.
Okay.
But I don't think it's like super far off.
It's
Chris Middleton was going nuts.
Yes. He's a great player in this league.
Yeah. Chris Middleton was going nuts.
But it's levels.
And Jimmy Butler was like, probably at the time, that might have been around when Jimmy Butler was shooting like 10% from 3.
Yeah, he'll always shoot 10% from 3.
But yeah, no, Jimmy Butler's a better player. So if I said that, I was wrong.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to correct that.
Another thing your Nick Nation said, I don't know if it was you personally. You said you guys said that Julius was better than Bam. Can you take that back too?
Bam is definitely better than Julius, but Julius had a better season that year for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Julius was second team All NBA. Like I feel like people he was fucking amazing.
And you know what? I actually like Julius Randle.
Yeah, I liked him before he went to the Knicks.
Before he became a Knick.
Yeah, I liked him before he was a Knick too. I'm so heartbroken right now.
I actually like Julius Randle, but the thing is, and I want us as an NBA community to stop doing this in general. Small sample sizes are so misleading. Like we saw Andre Drummond one year. He started off the season getting like 20 points, 20 rebounds, and then you realize it was in a contract year. And we've seen with Julius Randle and a plethora of other players, they just have like their best season of the year of like their career, and it's a contract year. And we don't give them that second or third year to see, let's follow up. And that's why Andrew Wiggins got so much slack because
I'm so happy for him.
He averaged 23 points, got paid and then regressed from every year on out. And that's why he caught a lot of the flack. Not because I think people at that time were already realizing that he wasn't going to be like that big superstar. It was just like, where's your motor? Things like that. And people acting like he's always been this player. It's about him being in a different role now, less expectations, and being able to, show what he's good at. So the small sample sizes, I feel like, they're killing NBA Twitter. You got like people saying Jason Tatum's better than KD and different things like that. And I'm just like, come on.
Or Jason Tatum's a two-way player because he played good defense from January to the end of the season.
Oh, I feel you can give him two-way player.
Not
really good defense.
Not elite two-way player though.
Can we see at least a full season?
You cannot be considered a two-way player when you start playing defense. January 1st
to the end of the season.
To the end of the season.
Or your season.
And that's when they made the run. He bought into the Ime Udoka system. They all started playing defense, passing the ball around. But come on, let's see him do it consistently.
And that goes back to
that's
what you're saying
fair.
about Alfred. It's not that he showed that he can play defense. Now we gotta see if he's willing to play defense
On a
consistently.
consistent basis. That's
So
a
we
whole
can't call
different
him a two-way
ballgame.
player or a great two-way player. Or he one of the best two-way players. And we only seen it for like 4 or 5 months.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Especially like when I consider like two-way players like in this league, like Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, defensively even shaky, but he's still a good two-way player.
Yeah, still.
But like, I feel like those are the elite two-way
We're
players.
adding RJ Barrett to that list next year, by the way.
He's a pretty good defender. He's a pretty good defender. Now the offensive end, I don't know what he's projected. What are your projections from RJ offensively next year? 24 points?
I think he averages 23 to 25 points a game.
23 to 25
Who
points.
do you compare RJ Barrett to, like a player, if you could compare him to a player? Rudy Gay?
Rudy Gay, no.
Rudy Gay in Memphis was averaging like 21, 22 points.
Rudy Gay was nice, but Rudy Gay never did anything. Rudy Gay never won anything. Rudy Gay never guarded anybody.
Yeah, you got high expectations for RJ.
Yeah, RJ's
That's funny because I know somebody that think about RJ like that.
thinks RJ doesn't guard anybody.
No, I'm just saying like his trajectory to be Rudy Gay.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's a severe undersell.
Yeah,
I think that RJ is like like I don't want to say. I feel like RJ's in the Kawhi mold, but not to the Kawhi extent. Like Kawhi is like just the highest level of what you can get out of that. But I think that RJ has a lot of potential. Like RJ has
Jimmy Butler.
I think he's very similar to Jimmy Butler.
Under Kawhi is Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, and I think Jimmy might be the and like I remember one time we were playing on, Jimmy was like giving him pointers and stuff on the court, and I was like, wow, that's beautiful. And like because I mean, a solid defender, real hard nosed guy, but also like can get to the basket at will, can power through his defenders. But I think that RJ is going to be a better jump shooter than Jimmy Butler on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
And I think that RJ is more offensively gifted than Jimmy Butler is. Jimmy Butler worked his ass off and he can get a bucket anywhere now. But like he wasn't necessarily offensively gifted. Like we used to always RJ is offensively gifted. Like
Jimmy Butler was hard to watch early in his career. Like he made the game look so difficult.
Of course, he's a Heat player now. He's one of my favorite players like now of like all time. But Jimmy Butler in Chicago, those first years when he started to become like a scorer, I hated watching him. It seemed like it was so hard for him to score 20 points. Like, but then, and people would be like, "Oh, you Heat fans! Oh, you guys didn't even like." Not me. When I seen Jimmy Butler go from Chicago to Minnesota, and they were the 4th seed when he was playing basketball, and when he got injured, they dropped all the way down to the 9th seed. And he had to come back, still injured,
to get them into the playoffs.
I'm like, oh no, he's that impactful. That's when my respect for Jimmy Butler got there.
Went to another level.
And then I seen him, the whole thing that happened with the Tom Thibodeau and the practice and everything.
That's when I got my respect for him.
Woo!
The practice. That's when
He's
I got
cooking
my
them, boy.
Yeah.
With the 3rd team, and he goes to Philadelphia, and people forget before Kawhi hit that shot, Jimmy Butler is the one who tied the game up. That was going to send it into overtime.
Jimmy Butler was like low key that team's number one option.
Yeah,
he was their closer. They were putting the ball in his hands.
Yeah,
all of that. That's kind of the reason they got rid of him because Ben Simmons wanted the ball.
Exactly, and there's a whole story behind that. But your exact point. And so when the Heat got Jimmy Butler, I'm like, they're like, oh, Jimmy Butler, the Heat's going to be 6, 7 seed. I'm like, okay, all right. First year, went to the finals, bubble, whatever the case may be, and I wasn't surprised. Not because I think Jimmy Butler was, as good as LeBron or whatever. I've seen him impact teams to where it's like he's a two-way player. Now, people want to talk about the 20 points he averages in the regular season and stuff like that. But just how I feel like you can't be the best player in the league without being a two-way player, I feel like you can't, unless you have great pieces around you, being a two-way player that is, a pretty great player is important. I feel like to lead a team. So, RJ Barrett, I feel like he has a lot of those qualities. Now, will he be as impactful? Probably. Yet to be seen. We'll see with the Knicks, the team that you guys have around them. Is Emmanuel Quickly that guy?
I personally believe Emmanuel Quickly is that guy. I think that, it's not a whole lot of guys in the league that you got to guard from 30.
Because he has range.
You got to guard him from 30.
But does he get that? He doesn't get that respect yet, though, even though he can do it.
I mean, honestly, in his rookie year, the Heat were doubling him at half court. Like, at half court.
I think he like cooked us. Like, he's like cooking us one game.
Yeah, like he was commanding double teams at half court as a rookie from the top defense. Mm-hmm. So it's just like that. Not only that impacts the game so much because it's like, I mean, simple math. Like if you're getting doubled at half court, 5 minus 2, 5 minus 1, your offense is playing 4 on 3 from half court on down, and now you're able to make that swing. Like yeah, so it's just like the amount of gravity that he has. I think that's something that like not everybody like. People don't always pay attention to things like that.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
They'll look at the stat sheet and be like, oh, he only averages this many points.
That's my whole
blah, blah, blah.
thing with Dr. Robinson, but yeah.
Gravity is really important.
Yeah. So
to be able to have that gravity, whether it's on or off the ball, to be like the pace that he plays with, and I think from year 1 to year 2, like the 2 main things I wanted to see Immanuel quickly improve in is like 3 main things: defense, because he was a little bit of a defensive liability his first year. Mm-hmm. So defense, playmaking, and getting into the paint. Mm-hmm. And he did a better job at all of them. Mm-hmm. Like he became way better. He was one of our best defenders last year. He was amazing. Mm-hmm. He did a much better job playmaking. He got comfortable with the offense. He got into the paint more. He still needs to get better at finishing at the basket, but he got into the paint more. He was able to break down defenses from the paint. Like, and it's just like and that's what I think guys like Luka and things like that have thrown off the way that people view the NBA. Because the same thing you said about the small sample sizes, like they do the same shit where it's like if you're not averaging 30 by year 1, you suck. And it's just like, bro, like people develop.
And stats, looking at the stats is so tricky because they don't tell the whole story
at all.
They don't tell the whole story. They don't tell you if a player's gonna come alive when you need him the most. They don't tell you if he's stopping the guy. Like it's just so much. And to keep it on Immanuel quickly, and some people, the jury's in on one side, and I know your jury's in on him. My jury's out.
I don't know how your jury is out, personally.
No. About this one thing. Can Immanuel quickly be a point guard? A point guard. Now, that's something that I see you go back and forth with a lot. Now, I want to say that there's a difference between having the ability to facilitate and having the ability to be a point guard, directing traffic, setting up your team without you even having the ball. Do you think Immanuel quickly has that capability?
I 100% do, and I saw him doing it. Our offense looked a whole lot better with him running it. And this goes back to why I think, like, I don't think you can say that it's not fair to Tom Thibodeau and things like that. Is because even though we were the 4th seed, like, we drafted Immanuel quickly. Last year was his 2nd year. He was the 25th pick. You hit it, you got to steal, clearly. They're just like, whether you believe his point, whatever you think he is, like, whoa, this is a good pick for 25. Like, this is a good player. We've spent over 100 games sitting him behind Alfred Payton and Alec Burks at point guard. We shouldn't have to ask this question. We should have just been seeing him play point guard.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen it because Tom Thibodeau.
Or he should be matured enough, much more than he is, because he's been getting the opportunity to grow and learn.
He should be further along. And that's why my thing for this year is, give him the ball, bro. Like, just do it. Because now it's year 3. So it's like, if you give him the ball this year and he's not it, then he's not it. Mm-hmm. But, like, give him the ball, give him the opportunity to be that guy, but don't just tell me he can't. You can't tell me, he can't do it until you let me see him do it. Yeah. So that's the part that's frustrating for me because, our offense it flows way better. He's getting guys involved. He's on the sideline, with the iPad, walking the young guys through the plays and things like that during the game. And, I know against y'all, he went for 20 in the 4th quarter and brought us back and won it. That's not something that everybody can do. Like,
RJ and him killed us this year.
Yeah, 20 points in the 4th quarter against the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, it's not something that just happens every day. You feel me? And he's that guy. Like I said before, that game in his rookie year where he scored 16 points in the 4th. He's a 4th quarter performer. He's a guy who shows up. He's a guy. He loves basketball. He was in the gym all summer, and it showed when he got back. Mm-hmm. And this year he struggled with his jump shot at points, but that's the least of my worries with him. I know he can shoot. Mm-hmm. So it's just once the shot came back, it was cool. We good here, but the playmaking took strides. The defense took strides. And now, we just round it all up and keep moving, keep growing in year 3.
Got you. Now, us Heat fans caught flack with this with Tyler Hero. There's a thing about, players, young promising players being married to them, not wanting to let them go. And people were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that he didn't want to give up Tyler Hero for James Harden. Well, we see how that turned out for James Harden and Tyler Hero averaging 20 off the bench. Do you feel like you, as a Knicks fan, and all the young talent that you guys have had or do have right now, do you feel like you fell victim to being married to a player too much? Like how you say RJ Barrett's untouchable, Emmanuel Quickly is untouchable. Any more untouchables on the Knicks as far as people that you want to stay there or you don't want to give up?
I don't want RJ, Emmanuel Quickly, or Obi traded. I would love to keep Quentin Grimes, but I understand there's only so many untouchables you can have.
Mm-hmm.
But my main reasons and why I don't feel like it's an issue of me being too married to it, and it's kind of what we were just speaking on. Same thing with Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin was struggling to get 15 minutes a game while we were playing Taj Gibson for 27. What are we doing?
One thing about Tom Thibodeau, he's loyal to his the players that was at the Chicago team. Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler. He didn't want to trade him. Taj Gibson.
And I'm pretty sure if Joakim Noah want to come back to the NBA,
he would give him 20 minutes.
Yeah, he got a job.
Was he on the Knicks?
He was at a point, but not
Tom Thibodeau. Yeah, luckily. But yeah,
he pretty much tried to recreate the Chicago team in Minnesota.
Bro, he does it everywhere.
Derrick Rose is there. Like
he's stubborn. He's stuck in his ways, and it's just like
Taj is there.
He did the same thing with IQ. He did the same thing with Obi. So that's part of the reason. Because I feel like right now, if you trade Emmanuel Quickly or Obi Toppin, you're trading them for less than what they're worth because they haven't gotten to show their value because they haven't played enough.
No Emmanuel Quickly for Jalen Brunson or
fuck out of here.
This and that or
I'm not because it's like people are like, oh, you wouldn't trade Emmanuel Quickly for Donovan Mitchell, and it's like no, because the Utah Jazz aren't going to say, hey, do you want Donovan Mitchell for Emmanuel Quickly?
Yeah, it's going to be other people.
It's going to be Emmanuel Quickly and Obi Toppin and 3 picks and this and that. And I feel like, in my opinion, if you put the ball in his hands and let him play for 30 minutes a game, he'd be worth more than that by next week. So it's just like, even if you're going to treat guys as assets because it's a business, whatever, get the most for your assets. Get the most value. So selling low on guys is like, because then you trade them as part of a huge package, and this is what happens. Knicks fans lose no matter what. So you trade them as part of a huge package, you get the guy gets over here, you don't really win many games. Emmanuel Quickly goes over there, becomes one of the best point guards in the NBA. And everybody's like, Knicks, blah, 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 blah. No, not on my watch. I'm sorry.
Got you. So you rather sink with the ship you already got?
Yeah, because it's like I said, we have more young talent than we've ever had in my life. Like, not even close. So it's like, bro, we can go. I'm very cool throwing out a starting line of Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, and Mitchell Robinson, and figuring it out. And I think they would play really well on both sides of the floor. And even if we didn't become a playoff team, I think we could. But it's like, even if that team didn't make the playoffs, RJ just turned 22 last week. So it's like, well, I'll be all right. You feel me? Like, I understand it's a process, but it's like, to RJ turning 22 last week doesn't really help me if you're giving, 30-year-old Alec Burks minutes at point guard and 32-year-old Evan Fournier and Taj Gibson is 36. Like, play with your youth. You feel me? Have that lineup, bring Derrick Rose and Cam Reddish off the bench. Like, it could all be so simple. But, Tom Thibodeau.
Draft is about to happen, so we don't know who the Knicks are going to get. But with that starting lineup that you just said right there, with the East being as deep as it's ever been, you got Atlanta coming back. They may make some moves. The Hornets, moves to be made in the East. What do you think that team could land at?
I'm gonna sound crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna sound crazy. I think that team could be. I mean, okay, you're gonna have Boston up there. And even Boston was a 7th seed until a couple months left in the season. So you never know. Miami's going to be there. Milwaukee's going to be there. I guess Philly. You never know. You don't know what's going on in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you can't even predict Brooklyn.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I was never really that moved by Chicago. So I think they could be a 5 or 6 seed. If things shook well,
better than Atlanta.
Yes, 100%, 200%. I'm a firm believer of that.
After we beat up on Trae Young, he's going to come back a lot better, right? And that's somebody's going to come back better who already led the league in total points and assists.
That's cute. What's the rest of the team going to do?
I mean, they're possibly going to move Jason Collins. I heard they're inquiring about DeAndre Ayton. I mean, who knows what they're going to do? But
I'm not really moved. I think that because it's like the names on paper don't mean much, but yeah. And so when I look at that lineup, the way that it works out, and whether we get
DeAndre Hunter looks like he's going to have a promising season.
DeAndre Hunter's cool.
He
ain't no RJ Barrett. Like, they were trying to make it seem like he was in the conversation. He's not RJ Barrett at all. You can never run an offense with DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter will never average 25 points a game. He's not RJ Barrett.
That's not Darn Hill. He gave the Heat some problems to where I'm not expecting him to, but I could definitely see DeAndre Hunter average 19 points. next year.
That's cute. RJ averaged 20 this year.
Yeah.
Like, without getting the ball in the beginning. And on top of that, like, DeAndre Hunter, I was doing parlays, bro.
Oh, yeah, he killed your shit a few times.
Bro, it's like, I'm betting on DeAndre Hunter to get 3 rebounds. And he's not doing it. He's 6'8". RJ Barrett would never. And RJ Barrett shows up every night. But he's no DeAndre. But yeah, like, I think that RJ is a really solid primary who in the next season can average 23 to 25 points a game, especially if he cleans his mid-range game up. He gets to the basketball, he can get to the line. I think that Mitchell Robinson, if we retain him, is really important to me. That's one of the most important things of the offseason. I think that the same things that Robert Williams is doing for the Celtics, Mitchell Robinson does. Like, he does it.
Got to get in some better shape, but yeah, I like Mitch.
Yeah, like Mitch.
And he gained a lot of weight because he wanted to be more like stronger.
He wanted to be, and he had like a foot problem before, so
he
came into the season. But like, as the season went on and he got his condition and everything, like, Mitch is amazing. He'll lock the paint down. He can switch on any guard, like, and move his feet with him. Like, so like that allows you to have. And then Quentin Grimes is an excellent spot up shooter. Like, if he does nothing else, he can shoot the shit out of the basketball, and he's a great defender.
Yes.
So like that was part of, like, RJ last year. We will put him on Zach LaVine when we play the Bulls, and he held Zach LaVine at 30% from the field, and he's locking him up. But DeMar DeRozan is giving Evan Fournier fits because we only have one wing defender. So if you got 2 wing defenders, that changes everything. Emmanuel Quigley is a really solid defender at point guard. He can also space the floor, stretch the floor, get out in transition, run the pick and roll. He finds guys away. He has great chemistry with Obi. Obi Toppin scored 42 points. Over the last 2 games of the season, Obi had 42 points and 34 points, I believe. And didn't have a single play run for him. He was just hitting threes, cutting to the basket, low usage. Whereas Julius, you got to run the play offense to him the entire game, and he's still going to give you less than that. We had a game against the Hornets where RJ went off, quick play well, and Obi had 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists on like 7 for 9 shooting. It's perfect. You feel me? So it's like, Obi Toppin, the name doesn't say, we're going to be the top 3 Eastern Conference, but it's just like, if you have guys who play their roles and fit well together and grow together, you can make things happen, especially if they're going to give effort on both sides of the ball. That's my main thing, bro. I wasn't even that mad at Julius this year for not shooting well. Like, I think he was shooting.
It was his effort.
He shot 41% from 3 the year before, and I think it went down to like either 32 or 27, some crazy shit. He shot terribly, though. But it wasn't about your shots not going in anymore. It's like, you don't try. You don't care. You're not rotating. You're not stepping up on screens. You're like all this shit. And it's just like, and then you go down the other side and you get the ball. And then you're holding on to so it's just like, bro, like it's disgusting. And that energy, especially as a leader, like that's the year before. And that's why it's not about being stuck in the moment for me. Like I evaluate, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing right now? Like, okay, cool. Like, Julius gave us everything. Yeah, he was a savior. He was king of New York, all that stuff. He was playing amazing. He was busting his ass. And that energy that he was given was it was permeating through the whole team. And then you came back and you just weren't trying. You didn't care. You were like not shit. You were booing the fans. But I didn't care about it. Thumbs down shit didn't bother me. Like, I'm not offended. I didn't think the fans should have been booing him at that point in the game when they did anyway. So him doing that was like, whatever, bro. But like, for you to let that affect you and now you're not playing the same. And there was one game, bro, I went to it. We played the Bulls. It was a huge game. Like, not a huge game because our season was over. But like, it was just a great game. We went back and forth. You feel me? Like, I was talking shit in the stands with the Bulls fans, all that stuff. We made a man quickly drove the lane, kicked it out to Alec Burks, kicked in the corner for the 3 to seal the game. And we were all like, after the game, Julius threw the ball up in the air and walked off the court. And the whole team was out there celebrating. It was like, how are you this upset about a loss? I mean, about a win. And I understand because it might have been my fault. Like, that game, he was playing like shit, and I was tired of it. And I was just like, I'm not standing for this anymore. Like, Obi was playing great. Obi was balling. And Obi was doing the same thing he always does. Score 8 points in 6 minutes, get pulled.
You have such a big voice within the Knicks community.
I literally stood up in the garden and said, "We want Obi." And I started, "We want Obi" chant. And it started ringing through the whole garden. And they heard it on the broadcast and everything. So that was why Julius walked off pissed. I was like, one man can change the world, bro. Use your voice.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure those players here, like, I'm pretty sure Alfred Payton heard some of the stuff that you were saying about him.
At some point.
Yeah, like, he has to. Like, you have, like, such a big Nick voice that I'm sure those players, I hear what you say.
So I always keep it basketball.
Let's pivot just a little bit. Steph just won the championship, won final MVP. There's been this talk, is Steph in the top 10?
Oh, yeah, real quickly. Yeah.
Before you answer that, Who's in your top 10? Like, if you would have to say the top 10 greatest of all time.
Stephen Curry for sure.
Yeah, Steph is in top 10. Is he close to the top 5?
He's close to top 5. He's very close to top 5.
Like number 8?
I'd probably say he's like 7 or 8.
7
I would go. Excuse me. LeBron James is my GOAT.
So you got LeBron over. So you got LeBron number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I got LeBron. I got Jordan. At some point here, these are probably going to stop being in numerical order.
Mm-hmm.
I got LeBron. I got Jordan. I got Kobe. Those are just 3 names you got to ring off.
Mm-hmm.
I got
Kareem.
So I know it's not in numerical order, but is Kobe closer to the third than he is the rest of the list?
Yeah, in my opinion, it goes LeBron, Jordan, Kobe.
Okay.
I understand that there's reasons and other people like, oh, Kareem scored so many points and Bill Russell won 11 championships, but I watch Kobe Bryant and you feel me? So LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, Kareem, Magic, and then from there you got Shaq, KD, greatest scorer of all time, in my opinion.
Larry Bird.
I have KD over Larry Bird.
Okay.
I don't disagree with that, but yeah, okay.
I have KD over Larry Bird.
He's not in mine, but I don't disagree with that.
And I have Shaq over Hakeem.
Yeah,
and that's probably maybe if I watched basketball in the 90s on a daily basis, I would like in the 80s and 90s. Tim Duncan is there, and Steph is there though. Steph is right there. I'll put Steph right where Tim Duncan is. If not before him, after him. But Steph is right there. Like Steph is not in my top 10 at all.
No. To me, he's top 10, but I got him like 9, 10.
That's fair.
8 at the most, because the way I feel like, and he makes this argument, Steph Curry changed the game of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. He's the greatest shooter of all time. Fair. Like, not only change is like diminishing how his impact on the game of basketball when you look at how the play style is played.
You could say he revolutionized the game.
Even though Mike D'Antoni and Steve Nash them started it, but Steph is astronomical. I look at they got this whole bus driver term or whatever the case may be, blase, but I look at you putting it on your shoulders and taking your team there, and I weigh that when I look at like Tim Duncan, Kobe's, like, I'm put you on the spot. He got Steph over Kobe. Like, it's like stuff like that. I'm like, I'm sorry. I've seen people talk about those 3 chips that Kobe won with Shaq. Those 2 and those 3 straight finals that he went to, you got to take that into account. And then when you put the defensive end onto aspect, when you look at Steph, it's like, I can't put him over Tim Duncan or,
Why can't you put him over Tim Duncan?
Besides him being the best power forward of all time and 5 championships. And
where do you think Steph Curry is on the list of best point guards of all time?
2.
Okay, that's fair.
Behind Magic. This is...
Listen, let me triple on this.
He's number 10 through 8.
So, as far as my top 10, it's pretty much the same. I got Michael, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Larry. Now, Larry, I don't disagree with the KD one, but I feel like if you say Magic, you have to say Larry.
That's fair.
You have to say Larry.
KD is a better player than Larry. But
the same reason why I have Steph Curry.
Larry had like 7 Hall of Famers on his team, by the way. When you're talking about putting things on your back.
Yeah, but he was a spearhead and he was going against.
So was Stephen Curry though.
Not when KD was on the team.
Especially after this season, we can't say Steph Curry team on his back. Like, we can't.
Come on.
Why I can't?
You can't
because he put the team on his back.
The only
LeBron would be a 6-time champion if KD ain't joined the Warriors.
Here's my thing.
They had already beaten LeBron.
Yeah,
Steph beat LeBron.
Yeah, with Matthew Dellavedova as the second best player.
Still beat him.
Here's my thing. Steph is 6'1". They say 6'3", but whatever. He's not big. He's not the tallest. He's not the fastest. He leads his team the best way he can. He changed the game of basketball. Like, he changed the game, the way the game is played forever. Well, at least for the next 25 to 30 years, he changed it. All right, so I have Larry Bird. I have Shaq. Then I have Steph. I have Steph over Tim. And here's why I have Steph over Tim. Accolades wise, Tim probably got the best resume ever. If you want to talk about championships, first team this, all-stars this, probably the best. But this the same reason why I had Kobe lower in the list. I don't feel that Kobe and the Tim changed the game of basketball the way the others on the list changed the game of basketball.
That's fair. Tim didn't really change shit.
Tim added to the legacy of the game.
Yeah.
He Great
really
numbers.
changed
Great
nothing.
numbers. He's the best power forward of all time. Kobe added to the legacy of the
Kobe
game.
just did what Jordan did.
Kobe was chasing Jordan. He didn't eclipse Jordan, so therefore he didn't, have the same impact.
He didn't, yeah.
Even though that's Kobe
But at the same
Bryant.
time, Kobe had an insane impact though, because like
Yeah.
if you look at
Kobe.
80% of the leagues, that in itself,
Yeah.
but 80% of the league today like downloaded their game from Kobe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Like
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum is a Kobe. There's a bunch of Kobe babies out there,
Yeah.
like the footwork, the post,
Facts.
like being,
Facts.
Devin
like
Booker,
and
Otto.
guys who didn't watch Michael when Michael played,
Mhm.
so their only exposure to that
And
is
that's
Kobe.
why he's held in that such high regard. Which I didn't like Kobe when he was playing. I didn't appreciate him until after he retired, and I seen his personality more and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I always had him second best shooting guard, and my respect for him. I got him over Steph. I don't have him top 3,
Mhm.
but I got him over Steph, and Stephen Curry will he have the opportunity to move up? Definitely. Like
Steph can't move up no more because he's already high enough.
he can't move up no more.
No, he's number 7. Where is he gonna go?
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna lie, he get another ring.
Then you get to top 5.
It's hard not to. I mean, come on,
I'll tell you
he
right now.
I'm
revolutionized
saying he
the
can
game.
get top 5.
He's the greatest shooter of all, like
Yeah. No.
of all time.
Okay,
Like,
Ever,
when you
ever,
when you were
ever.
saying it, you kind of like skipped over that. Like
Yeah,
that's just
yeah,
some small
yeah.
shit. Like of everybody to ever shoot a basketball
He did
ever,
this.
he's the best by
I
far.
said to say he changed the game is an understatement.
He shattered the 3-point record
Yeah.
and then doubled it.
Yeah, still counting.
Like
Still counting for
Hey,
sure.
if somebody want to say they got Steph over Larry Bird, I won't be mad. Like I said, Larry Bird is not definite for me. It's just that fact that if you're gonna say Magic, you got to say Larry being that they was the guys keeping the NBA alive at that
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
Now, I didn't hear you mention Bill Russell.
Or Will
Bill
Chamberlain.
Russell or Will
I'm
Chamberlain?
not mentioning Will Chamberlain. I refuse.
Okay.
Not in your top 10.
Will Chamberlain was playing against guys shorter than me.
And so was Bill Russell.
I'm not naming nobody that played in the 60s and 50s in any top 10s ever.
Yeah, bro.
Or
I'm
top
sorry.
20s.
I can't. I just can't
I'm
do
not.
it.
I can't do it.
Y'all
Them
tough.
boys-
The league is
they was
so
working at
different now.
McDonald's, helping build McDonald's and going to play the game at night. I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Ain't no
I
way.
just give them boys that respect.
You think Will Chamberlain putting up 100 on Rudy Gobert?
I ain't seen not one highlight of Will Chamberlain scoring anything.
Bro,
Anything. Anything. He was playing against
I
me.
I can't do it, bro. You're playing against 6'4" white guys named Bill. I can't.
I hear y'all. I just give them that respect. I just give them
Because
that
they
respect.
pioneered the game.
You give them the respect. They,
Yeah.
like they,
Yeah.
the game isn't where it is without them.
Yeah,
Like,
they-
you feel
yeah,
me?
like an honorary number 10.
Wilt Chamberlain, shut up. Wilt Chamberlain is the NBA record book, basically. Like,
Yeah.
anytime you get mentioned in something when it comes to records, he's right there.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
he's
not
right-
gonna lie. If you put me on the court with those people who's playing against, I might drop a strong 60.
And then you would probably be in the top 10. You would probably be in the top 10,
Now, I
top
can't
20.
blame them for dominating the competition that they had. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
That's all. Yeah.
Wilt got 11 champions.
He only had to play against 7 other teams. Like, come on, like stop. I ain't gonna say that. He had 11 championships, and the first round was a bye round. They were number 1 seed, and they got like 9 Hall of Famers on the
That's
team.
hilarious.
Like, come on, stop saying that. Like I don't like
I'm
that.
sorry. I just got to give them boys that respect.
No.
They
As a
until,
pioneer, I give him the respect. He pioneered the
they,
game.
they get the 2 spots. They get 2 spots in my top 10.
Honorary.
That's a waste of space.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not gonna
bro.
lie.
That's what I'm
Son.
saying. Bro.
I'm not gonna lie. No
Son.
disrespect to Bill or Wilt, but
I guess I'm part of the younger generation too, but I'm the old heads, they not gonna appreciate that when you get to them platforms and you going against them guys, they not gonna appreciate that.
it's not too many. I don't know, man. Like, because
I
it's like
agree.
when you
like
if
players now are better than the players
if
then.
you would have put Wilt Chamberlain on the block and been like, "Yo, you matched up with Shaq tonight," like, what would it have been?
That's what I'm saying, fam.
You matched up with Hakeem Olajuwon. What would it if you put Hakeem Olajuwon on that Celtics team in the '60s?
It might have been 200 points.
Bro, like, come on, like
Bill probably have been a 6 man.
let's keep it a bug. So like that, I
Yeah.
think we gotta, I understand, and that makes it tough, and that's why even with like the NBA when they had the top 50, now they got the 75. It's like, okay, like
I feel like it's bull.
at some
You
point,
gotta know.
Yeah,
George Mikins. Like,
some of these niggas gotta go, bro. Some of these
Like,
niggas
you
gotta
gotta
go.
go. Bill Walton. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it. Like,
Some of these
you
niggas gotta go. Bill Walton on the list and Klay Thompson not. Some of these niggas
somebody
gotta go.
bro.
Yeah,
Like,
Somebody
for
gotta
sure.
go.
for sure.
Now, another argument is NBA players today not being able to play back then.
You gotta forget about
And
that.
my thing is, can the NBA players back then play
play
today?
now, and the answer for a lot of them is no.
Some of the great ones,
Of course,
Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, Isaiah.
Isaiah would have been getting busy.
But we talking about little Isaiah, the other Isaiah, not
Yeah.
not little, but So yeah,
Isaiah Thomas would be getting busy.
Yeah, like I was still the guy, but yeah, when they act like, oh, they could. First of all, it was more physical. LeBron would have dominated them. Bro,
people forget Michael Jordan wasn't dominating, bro. Michael Jordan was getting bullied himself. He had to get in the weight room and get big. You think LeBron could? LeBron is the smartest basketball player that ever touched a basketball. You think he couldn't do that?
And he's a Mack truck. Like they never dealt with anything like that back then. Like back then, if you were 6'9", you could not dribble a basketball,
and you weren't coming down full speed.
Yeah, like
closest thing was Magic, and he wasn't the physical dominant.
That tell me LeBron would have been able to really impose his will. Because now you got to be careful. You can't really, you know what I'm saying? But
charges.
He would have been really able to.
LeBron would have knocked Bill Laimbeer on his ass. Stop playing. Like they got to stop playing. But Kevin Durant, 7 feet, handling the ball and pulling up like that. What were they gonna do?
Yeah, nothing.
What was Craig Elo gonna do with Kevin Durant?
Absolutely not.
Stop it. The fact that Craig Elo was able to be a number one option on the basketball team shows me that generation is stop playing, bro. What team would Craig Elo be a number one option on in the playoffs in 2022? Stop it. We got like the old heads have to remove the nostalgia. They cannot be clouded by nostalgia.
You hear him screaming Oscar Robertson,
Mad Dog Russo and stuff like that.
Russell did it 3 times.
Russell was that 3 times. Back to back.
He really almost did it 4 times, but he only did it 3 times.
Like shout out to Oscar Robertson, but back then the guards were 5'7".
Bro,
y'all tough.
Come on, son.
No, that's
the game evolves. If you put Oscar Robertson out there now, he'd probably still be good. You feel me? I'm not taking away from Oscar at all. Oscar is
12, 6, and 6. Like,
he's the man. Yeah, Oscar's he was the hooper. He was the man. Like he was really, really good. But at the same time, like the level of competition was not the same. The level of athleticism was not the same. Like the game is different. Even if you look at you could look at high school now and see how different the game is. Where these kids be like 6'8", coming down the court, hezzo, women. I'm just like, yo, like when I was playing, and I didn't play that long ago. When you were 6'8", you was on the block.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel me? The game is different. And so to think, if that happened I graduated high school 10 years ago. So if that happened at a high school game in 10 years, imagine what happened to the NBA game in 40. Okay. Come on, son.
Before we end off, and we got like 6 minutes left, your journey as covering the Knicks has taken you to meet some well-known people, also celebrities, whether it's Julito from The Wire,
my guy,
up to Ben Stiller. What has that journey been like, being accepted by the Knicks fan bases and the well-known people of the fan base who happen to be well-known all over?
It's been incredible, honestly. Like, and it's an honor, and it's sometimes it's a little strange the things that become like normal to me. And like so as I'm doing it, I'm a very in the moment person. Like I reflect a lot, but like and it's funny because I reflect a lot and I'm always looking ahead. But I'm still very in the moment. Like, so like when something's happening, I'm appreciating what's happening right now. I'm not really thinking about like, oh, this is, me and Ben Stiller went to see the Batman premiere. And at one point I was mad tired that day. And the Batman movie was like 3 hours long. So I'm like dozing off a little bit. And I was like, oh shit. Like you sit next to Ben Stiller, wake up.
Yeah. How did that relationship happen?
He was watching my show. He was watching the post-game show. The post-game prosperity, post-game pouting. And I noticed because he would like the tweet sometimes when I posted it from the Knicks wall. And I was like, I feel like he must be like watching a little bit. And then one day he replied to one of my tweets and I realized he was following me and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, be cool. Don't overreact. Everybody was like, yo, DM and blah, blah, blah. I was like, nah, act like you've been here before. And I feel like that's kind of what's worked for me in most situations. Like, just act like you've been here before. You feel? I was talking to my friend about it the other day. One time when I was like 19, I used to work at Finish Line and I saw Brandon Knight came in the mall. And Brandon Knight, you feel me? Like, that's Brandon Knight. We all was kids in Broward. Like, Brandon Knight is... You feel me? Exactly. So he walked in and like at that moment I'm a kid again and I'm still 19, so I'm pretty much still a kid. I'm like, oh shit, it's Brandon Knight. But I'm like 6'5". So
you can't.
I can only be so happy to see you. You feel me? Like so from then it was just like, all right, you gotta be cool. And I feel like that's worked out a lot for me. Like, when you like, when I met Ben Stiller, he was excited to meet me. That was an insane feeling. It was like, yo, you do know you're Ben Stiller, right?
Yeah.
So but yeah, just being, I've been very grateful, very gracious, and just, taking things as they come. And it's been great, man. Like God has been good. There's been plenty of blessings. And I feel like, the grace that I handle my blessings with just brings more to me. And, I feel like when one person sees you and they're like, okay, like he's cool. Like at the end of the day, and I feel like we all know this, like NBA players, celebrities, whatever, they are regular ass people. And it's like, so when you allow somebody to be a regular person and feel like a regular person and they feel like they can connect you on a regular person level, then
opens the door.
It opens the door. And now when that door opens and they're like, okay, like
no, you're around
some other, it's like, oh, if he can be around Ben Stiller, he must be, you know, like, so it's just like, it's been really cool that way. And yeah, just being like the Knicks walls propelled me forward, the internet in general, and just, you know, being in positions. I remember one time I was doing my pregame show and I didn't even know what this meant, but Jesus commented from Jesus and Mero, and he was like, let's go Knicks, first time, long time. And I was like, what does that mean? And everybody was like, yo, that's so cool. And I looked it up, and it was like a radio saying for like first time caller, long time listener. So I was like, Jesus should be watching before the game. I had no idea, you feel me? And that was one of the main things when I started doing it. I was just like, you know, when I turn this camera on, I have no idea who's watching. And now to be able to start to see some of the, like, I have no idea who's watching and like the fruition of it and like where it goes, being able to do the show with Julito. Like I went to the home opener and I was walking down the street and Julito saw me. He was like, yo, what's good, Sean? And I was just like, oh shit.
You know me.
I was like, oh shit, you know, like, so that's been really cool, man. It's really been a blessing, and I can't be thankful enough, for real.
Gotcha. Any Knicks fans that like well known or celebrity that you haven't met yet that you would like to meet, or even Knicks legends?
So I got to interview Earl the Pearl on the podcast. That was real cool for the TKW podcast. He was a super cool dude. I met Tracy Morgan. That was super cool. Yeah. He was at the game, and like it's funny because like by the end of the game, he's like turning to me and asking me questions. Like I saw his respect level for me as a fan grow during the game. And in Fat Joe, like we got in the elevator, he was like, it was great fanning what you say, and I was like, that's dope. Charles Melton is super dope. I got to sit next to him at the game. My homie Relson, that was super dope. But as far as like, I would like to meet Earl the Pearl. I mean, not Earl the Pearl. I would like to meet Walt Frazier. That'd be a real cool day. I want to meet Mike Breen. You feel me? That'd be super dope. Both legends. I've been listening to my whole life. Who else? I met Latrell Sprewell. He signed my jersey. That was amazing. My creative player in NBA 2K and NBA 2K1 was named Sean Sprewell, and he had braids. So, like, meeting Latrell Sprewell and letting him know that the jersey hangs on my wall and having him sign it.
Spike hasn't been back.
I met Spike.
You met Spike.
I met Spike when I was courtside at that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I tried to get him to do the halftime show, maybe he didn't jump in. But yeah, I met Spike, shook his hand. That was cool. I would love to meet Carmelo Anthony. That's going to be a big day for me. I feel like it'll happen at some point. And then who else? There's like a few out. There's so many Knicks fans.
Lloyd Banks.
That would be super cool. I would like to meet Lloyd Banks. Like I look forward to those moments. You feel me? Like, and this year showed me like how, you know, I'm possible. It's been my thing this whole time, but like
it's possible.
This year showed me how possible I really am and how possible everything. You know, just like wow, like. It's there, man. Go get it. Whatever it is you want, go get that shit.
Yeah, most definitely. And before we end off, this Saturday, you got an event coming up. Let the people know what's going on.
This Saturday, man. When does this drop?
I'm going to try to get this part out before Saturday. So
fire. This Saturday, Studio 954. Pull up, man. There's plenty of great talent out there, plenty of great vibes. I like to think that the aesthetic of the event is unique talent, good vibes, and pretty women. So who doesn't like any of those three things? You feel me? Like, pull up. It'll be a great time. Great time guaranteed by yours truly. Tickets are $10. You feel me? It's a nice, the bar is nice. You feel me? Great venue. And really, I just, you know, when I tell people, I always tell people come to the show. Like, I try to tell people come to my show. I don't feel like it's my show. Like, I feel like, you know, it's
come to the show. Yeah.
Come to the show. You feel me? Like, yeah, I put it together and, you know, it means a lot to me and I'm hosting. But, like, I want this to be Broward's show. Like, I want this to be, like, a place where monthly, like, people can come through. They know they're going to see good talent, meet good artists. It can be a networking event, even for those who aren't performing. You feel me? Like, just a hub, like, and a good vibe. It's nice to be able to, you know, like, last time, after the second, I did the first one in February. A lot went wrong as it was happening. Like, it was just like, oh, shit. Like, the venue I was dealing with was bullshit. And, you know, it still had a good time. Still had a great turnout. It was like I think it was like 70, 80 people there. You feel me? It was cool. And I enjoyed it. And so the second one, I went to New York for a minute. So I didn't do the second one until May. And I did like 8 days notice. And over 100 people came out. And I thought that was incredible. And you feel me? And everybody that was there, they were like, wow, you know, we had such a good time. Like, it's really good to have this kind of thing in the city. And I love the energy that's there, man. I hope that other people say they do, so that's cool. But I hope that other people get the same enjoyment out of it that I do. Yeah. Because it's nice to have like that positive space. It's chill. Nobody's in here wilding. Like, you feel me? Like, it's the kind of thing that I feel like the community needs, just to be able to have that space and to be able to have that thing that's going on. And my one thing that's really big for me is like, I don't like the way that people speak on Broward sometimes. Like, I don't like the way everybody tries to make it seem like, oh, you got to get out of Broward. Oh, Broward keeps it to blah, blah. Bro, you ain't never been nowhere. Stop telling me I got to get out of Broward. Like, you've never been anywhere to experience where anywhere else is. So you've never lived anywhere else. It's like that one phenomenon where, like, in high school, everybody think everybody else school got all the the pretty girls. You feel me? It's just like, no, you're just used to the girls you've seen every day, and you saw the 3 or 5 over there that look kind of cool. So now you're thinking, oh my goodness, they got them all. Like, no, that's not really how it works, bro. Like, so it's like we got plenty of talent here. Like, there's plenty of talent here. There's plenty of good things going on here, and people always want to focus on the negative, and I don't like that. Like, and I think today's stupid statements become tomorrow's bad narratives. And so I want to control the narratives before they get out of control. I want to give people something where it's like, yo, there's a lot going on in Broward that's positive, that's conducive to growth and all that stuff. And I want to provide the environment for that to happen in. So come out. Studio 954, man. It's up. We got comedians too, man. Everything. The Rabbit, Face. Yeah. He been repping the stage. He's going to be back up there again. So come out, man. It'll be a good time.
Most definitely. Y'all go ahead and tap in with everything this man Shaun is doing. Let them know real quickly where they can find you right before we end off.
So you can find me on Twitter or IG at Ihateshaun. That's I hate SHAUN. Shouldn't have to spell I or hate for you. And then, if you are a Knicks fan or a basketball fan, at the Knicks Wall. I'm on Twitch and YouTube. Just follow I'm Possible OP. And then my Twitch channel is Ihateshaun. If you watch Twitch, I don't know. Me and my friends be playing 2K. And what else? I want to get on TikTok, bro. I really want to be active on TikTok, but it takes a lot. No, we'll see. I'm gonna try. So look out for that.
Most definitely. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. It's Kyle the Kid, Mega the Boy, Ihateshaun, and we out. Make sure you like.
I did.
Yeah.